Okay, day 91. This is going to be part one for the kind of big screen view here. I'm going to keep doing these versions of the big screen as well as the Trello. So I'll do two a day. This is more for people who just want a summary and don't want to actually be a contributor. So if you haven't followed the series, it's day one of Braverman, Haiti, and me. And I've asked Eric Braverman to come down to Haiti with me and visit the places where Hillary sent the U.S. AID, the foreign aid. If you followed the series, you'll notice I've said this is all one thing. The oil from Brown here, all the World Bank loans from Braverman, the arms, the gangs, the bagmen, the people signing off the contracts, selling off the oil assets and mineral rights of the firm, the military planners, the civil disruption folks, the kind of the trolls in the basement of the, drawing up plans for sarin gas and other wicked things. It's all one thing. It's all just kind of like taking over country and getting the stuff, and it's this. So Braverman said, follow the money, but I say it's really just arms, oil pipelines, the oil rat lines, the human trafficking rat lines, the organ harvesting rat lines, and also something I call micro sharking, which is putting micro loans on cell phones and also testing vaccines. It's kind of turned into this all one thing cookie cutter for all the different countries that we're researching on this research project that we do. So again, this isn't a Hillary thing. This is a drain the swamp thing. There's a good new video out now about draining the swamp. Basically, this is about, the first thing, it's about control. This is the school in Denver that, the kind of spy school, or training police how to. Now, I know everyone says Irving, Texas is where DynCorp is based, but it really comes from the CIA headquarters in Denver. The idea is to go in, get control of the police force using women, convince the police that the usually UN foreign peacekeepers, convince them that having sex with a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old is prostitution. Conflate prostitution with child sex trafficking, and get them to get a 12-year-old girlfriend or a 10-year-old girlfriend, and then they can start buying and selling that girlfriend. They don't wake up one day and go, oh, I want to be a child sex trafficker. But that's the idea. That's the technique used by DynCorp to get the UN peacekeepers in that mode. Get them used to getting a new girlfriend every week, raping the girl for a while, and then selling the girl. And then now you've got, hey, sooner or later, you're going to actually have, the sex trafficking. You're going to get then local populations infuriated. There's going to be protesters. You're going to be able to put those people in jail, and those are the ones that are going to be organ donors. You can also use these police to make, with UN peacekeepers, with their AK-47s, to make sure people mine your gold, and work all day. And if they don't, they go to the organ harvest process. So all I'm saying here is I realize it's effective overseas, but what's really concerning me, I don't think this is organ harvesting yet in the U.S. maybe, but this JTTF program, which is the Joint Terrorism Task Force, is really a terrorism task force against local police and other state and federal agencies, that if you don't get on board with this, we have this task force that can, kind of intimidate you. You won't find police officers very often wanting to talk about this, or else they'll talk about the community policing side of it. But they won't talk much about the enforcement and coercion and extortion that's used. They usually extort the chief of police. They get him in a compromising position in some way, and the mayor, and then they have control of that police organization. And just this slow process. It's been about a 30-year process, starting with New York, starting with the biggest cities, and then it just kind of moves out. And it's all the same things we see overseas are going to be the same things you see here. Now here, this woman has been gang raped by several police forces and around the Olympics in Vancouver. So it's not, we haven't gone to organ harvesting yet, I don't think, maybe. But it's something that we just need to kind of get those 650,000 emails of HUMA, put them out there, and then kind of drain the swamp, because we're going in a bad direction. That's the essential point here. This is the Podesta thing with the heart removal artwork in his office. I showed yesterday how they're kind of shopping organs. So they're kind of saying to these older folks, hey, that's what it looks like. It looks like a kind of a cabal of people that are interested in living forever. Do you need a kidney? Do you need a heart? That kind of thing. So similar thing happened with this Happy Hearts in Thailand, where kids ended up going missing after the big tsunami. And then the same group of folks, Sean Penn and Nemkova, are in Haiti with Martelly. So it's this kind of social justice cover. Everyone feels good about it. Everybody toasts themselves and drinks. But then if you talk to the people, like I've been talking to, they say only 2% or 3% of the money has come through to the group. And you got this weird art where they make these cakes where, the naked women have their hearts cut out and so forth. So this seems to be kind of a rationalization for getting people hearts. And again, it seems to go with this oil business. It just kind of it's all one thing. And everybody says, oh well, David Rockefeller did all those things. He had the Pinkertons. He had his muscle to break the unions. They hired scabs. You got this whole same thing. Yeah, that's maybe true. I like the Rockefellers, but people hate me for that. But anyway, because I think they've done a lot of good things, and I lived close to them in Cleveland, and I saw a lot of the great things they did for Cleveland. But anyway. People say, well, if you could do heart transplants in the days of John Rockefeller, he probably would have done that too. Okay, fair enough. But it does kind of seem to be all one thing. It's kind of like this total resources plan from taking everything and squeezing, the sponge and getting everything out of it, everything out of the country. So if you haven't followed the series before, we follow Monica Petersen, and she basically does this master's thesis where she exposes all these things that the Clinton Foundation did in Haiti. So the sex trafficking, the forced labor, the sex shops that sweatshops that turn into prostitution and brothels, the oil drilling, illegal oil drilling, the micro sharking with 195% cell phone loans. She kind of does it all. She goes to the gold mine and looks at the forced labor and all that. And she's obviously murdered on November 13th last year. So this series is always following her. We're always interested in extending her work to find these places where, we're not really doing the Sean Penn thing with the champagne. We're actually exploiting the people that we say we're helping. So I'll end on this slide right here. If you haven't seen the series before, the earthquake's down here, and then all the spending is up here in the north. And this is kind of going to be the new Dominican Republic. This is going to be kind of annexed to the Dominican Republic. And here's your UN peacekeeping zone. This is where a lot of your child trafficking and organ harvesting and so forth is going to occur. And then down here, this population kind of in the swelter is just going to be mined basically for, occasionally there'll be some political protester and they'll mine them for organs, and they'll give them high interest loans to pay off payday loan type scheme. So that's really what's happening in Haiti. And every day I talk to more people. I talked to Azili Danto, who was the head counsel for Aristide, who was elected 3 times to Haiti, and they keep getting overthrown. I would talk to Cynthia McKinney, who was in our U.S. Congress, that did a lot, with Congressional Black Caucus, et cetera, for Haiti, who's now kind of been shoved out of Congress, and she's working as an independent person. But I'm not saying these things not based on fact. There's sources and citations. I have a big research group. If you want to join that, just send me an invite, leave me a message, and I can get you on what they call the Trello board. So I think, the general strategy here is to bring all the conspirators into a room, kind of like the old Hercule Poirot, and then people get the idea, oh, okay, they start making connections, and that's the idea of the series. The 650,000 emails, I did want to make one quick comment. Here's the data to back it up. 90% of the money is spent for Clinton Foundation. Basically, only 10% was left over, and only about 0.6 of that was actual Haitian organizations. Okay, so and as I mentioned again, Mirabalais is going to be your funnel point for people who are protesting, they're going to end up in Mirabaile, and their wives or whatever are going to end up with Nepalese peacekeepers. They're going to end up in a body bag with no heart. And I show in previous episodes where this same thing happened in the Congo and the same thing happened in Sudan. So it's a repeating pattern. And here's the forced labor. It's not mechanized labor. It's foot labor. So you're talking about hand to hand to get the big heavy rocks out, and then you're talking about carrying those on a backpack for miles. And the area in Haiti is covered so that you can't see this activity. This activity here is Congo. So the only difference here in Haiti, the only thing is a covering so they can mine 24 hours a day. So that's it for today, and I will be back tomorrow with another update.